Hey, I really need to move. What's up, is a culture detective here investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to be doing an album review, hopefully a very fast one, on the new Billie Eilish album, Hit Me Hard, Hit Me Soft, Hit Me! This is the new Billie Eilish album, in fact, her third album. I'm gonna go over her first two albums very quickly. Her first album, released in 2019, is called When We All Fall Asleep. Where Do We Go? Ooh. Uh, which I reviewed very quickly after the album's release back in the year. And honestly, even though Billie Eilish was this huge breakout star that just blew up all of a sudden, I thought there was a lot to enjoy in the album. This new minimalistic and moody take and slightly edgy take on pop music is honestly kind of interesting, and there are a lot of fun tracks. And then a while later, she released the album Happier Than Ever, which, even though a lot of people like her debut more than her sophomore album, I actually like Happier Than Ever slightly more. I just think that the songwriting is much more interesting. There is a little bit more variety in terms of the genres that she's exploring, and she explores them very well. And there are, again, a lot of highlights on the album and a lot of great music videos attached to the songs as well. Now we are arriving at the third album of Billie Eilish, and yeah, I'm afraid they as in Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas O'Connell, is going for an even more commercial and even more, I guess, in a way, accessible sound. And because of that, the album just comes off way more uninteresting. The album opener, Skinny, is a dramatic ballad about fame, her body, and insecurities. But I feel like Billie Eilish has written songs like this musically and lyrically in way better ways in her last two albums. So, not too interesting. Then we have Lunch, which is a track about eating a girl up like lunch. And this track has a certain rhythm and a certain groove that I can only describe as Post Malone's Circle. And Post Malone is far from the first person to ever do this kind of 4/4 drum beat, and the bass goes boom boom bottom boom boom bottom, but it's just I keep hearing songs that have similar drum beats, similar rhythms, similar bass lines, and the first thing that comes up to mind is, okay, this is just Post Malone's Circle. So it ends up feeling very average and uninspired because of that. The track Chihiro, obviously, probably, maybe a Spirited Away reference. This song is a reverby mess. It starts off very reverby and echoey, and then it builds up to these pumping house beats. It is a breakup song in its core, but it's also here and there. It tries to be a dance pop song, it tries to be a ballad, it tries to do this, it tries to do that, and it ends up not doing anything that well. Then we have Birds of a Feather, which is one of the better tracks on the album, in my opinion. This is a sweet and blissful R&B flavored track that sounds like it samples a ringtone, but I mean that in the best way possible because the song is catchy, the guitars are cute. I also like the snappy sequenced beats. Then the follow up to that, Wildflower, is a dreamy sweet ballad, but I feel like the more I listen to this track, the less I like it. Lyrically, she sings about investing too much on romance. Then we have more breakup songs to follow up. We have the track The Greatest, and lyrically, especially during the hook, she describes how she has done all these things and the other person only saw her naked, which pretty much is lyrically about being turned into a sexual object. But also at the same time, instrumentally, the song is kinda average as well, kind of stale. L'amour de ma vie, also love, which means love of my life in French. This track lyrically is about wishing the best for the other person, but for some reason there is a real 90s pop groove to it. You know, the rhythms, the groove of this track really feels like a Britney Spears. And then it suddenly turns into this crazy Charlie XCX auto-tune excursion. It's a very interesting experimentation. I don't know if it worked as well musically. Then the experimentation continues with the last three tracks, where the album truly, suddenly, randomly gets experimental. We have The Diner, which, if I can describe it with 5 words, I would say this track is Therefore I Am, but bad. Because when I listen to the grooves and the drums of this track, it immediately reminds me of another Billie Eilish song that is 10 times more interesting and catchy. This ends up feeling very drab. The track Bittersweet starts and ends with these thick, dense, colorful synths. It's like Billie Eilish is going to turn into Travis Scott and start auto tuning on these synths. But then the middle parts turn into this awkward tropical keyboard thing, and it's very vague and nondescript. The album ending Blue is a pretty straightforward alt pop track, but then it transitions into something spacey and minimal with pitched vocals and simple beats that I feel like do not necessarily conclude the album well. So overall, I just think Billie Eilish's new album is her weakest release so far. A lot of the tracks here just feel kind of forgettable, unfortunately. I'm giving the new Billie Eilish album a decent 6 out of 10. So have you listened to the new Billie Eilish album? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.